Hey everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
Welcome to another episode. This one's called Back in Time.
Yes.
10 years ago.
Yeah. So we thought of this series. It's just going to be a 4-part series because we're going to do 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, and 1 year.
What about tomorrow? Or like yesterday? What happened yesterday?
We kind of do that in our daily podcast.
Oh yeah, we did that yesterday.
So the idea behind this is that we all underestimate what we can do in 10 years, but we overestimate what we can do in one. And so the idea here is to show you where we were 10 years ago, 5, 3, and 1. And it's also a lesson for us to remind ourselves, look at how far we've come, because that is a hard thing for everybody to do, and it's something we talk about a lot.
Yep.
So Flip this is the first time Flip wrote the script on our podcast episodes.
Thank you very much. I was just warming up the other 260 days.
Flip is the one with the better memory. If you ever ask me a question, I usually look at Flip and I ask him to answer because I don't have a very good memory. I'm very, very laser focused, blinders on when it comes to business and doing things and looking ahead, not behind. So Flip, why don't you take over on this episode? Where were we at 10 years ago?
So 10 years ago, I was a wee lad. Not really. So 10 years ago, actually, Danny and I lived in Round Rock, Texas. I've got my Round Rock Express baseball jersey on. If you're watching, you'll see the baseball jersey. Round Rock is home to Dell Computers.
Okay.
And so before Dell Computers was formed, Round Rock was a wee little town. And then Dell Computers was formed, and then that town blew up. And they have a AAA baseball team, which was right around the corner from our house, so we always went to games.
Yep.
But back then, so it was just you and I.
Yep.
We did have some what we call interns. I think Tina actually was an intern around this time as well.
Okay.
Because Tina's been with us forever.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina.
And she just keeps coming back for more. I just don't get it. But thank you, Tina. So back then we were doing a lot of coaching. We were known as the Are Ya Rock Stars, and we did a weekly coaching call. Every week we did coaching calls. We also had some of our own products. We had a virtual marketing blueprint, and a social media fast track.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And so we had some of our own products that we created for people to help them do exactly what we were doing. It wasn't we weren't creating a product for people something we didn't know about. We're doing what we did, took that process, put it into a product, and then sold it to people.
Yep.
So that way they can do exactly what we did.
Yep.
And then we teamed up with an attorney that lived close by in San Antonio. Because he was doing sort of the same thing with
Subject to Wraps.
Yeah, Subject to Wraps with his clients, and so we teamed up with him. And actually, in 2012, we teamed up with him and we did a rodeo roundup, and it was in San Antonio. I actually bought both Andy and I had cowboy boots, and we had all these people fly in from all over to attend this event.
Yep.
And we actually went to the Houston rodeo. And now you think, oh, that's whatever. That's boring. You have not experienced anything until you've experienced one of the large rodeos, especially in Houston. It's enormous. It's more than just the cowboys and the bulls and the horses in the ring. This thing is monstrous. And actually, Toby Keith sang that night.
Yeah.
And Daughtry sang one of the other nights. It's a big time event. They do the rodeo and then they bring in a big star to sing to the whole event. So that's what we were doing. And then the biggest thing we did with Mark was Ascent to Financial Freedom. And the coolest thing about this is we guaranteed you to a deal or you got your money back.
That's right. Yes.
And it was
like a 3-step program, right?
Yeah.
We had Base Camp 1, Base Camp 2, Base Camp 3.
Yep.
And the idea was to take you through all the levels with Flip and I as coaches and Mark Torok, which is our attorney partner at the time. And we had created an LLC and a whole company behind all of this. We said we guarantee to get you to a deal. The fine print was you have to do what we tell you to do.
Yeah.
Because you know how many people pay for a program and pay for coaching and then don't do anything? Like,
Yeah,
it's
like
mind-numbing.
95%.
Yes, it is mind-numbing how many people put out money and don't do it. So we just said you have to do what we say what we tell you to do, and if you do, we guarantee to get you to a deal or you get your money back. And it was a great program.
Yep.
And that was actually, I think, the program where we lost our desire to coach anymore, because we saw how many people just didn't do what they, you know, they would give us money, and it almost felt guilty taking money from people who didn't do what because we were trying to like slingshot people to success. What? Once you get your first deal, the rest is a piece of cake. The first deal is the hardest.
Yep.
And we were trying to help everybody. And I was like, people are giving us money. They're not even doing it. Now that wasn't our fault.
Yeah.
That they didn't do anything. So I shouldn't have felt guilty, but it didn't fulfill me, because the fulfillment was coming from helping them get their first deal.
Yeah, in fact, that program was beyond everything else that we've done before.
Yeah.
Because in that program, when you signed up, we created all of your marketing material.
Yep.
We created websites for you.
Yep.
We created, everything for you.
Yeah.
All you had to do was pick up the phone.
Yes. And if you needed help while you were talking to people, we would get on the phone with your sellers.
Yeah. So that was, again, mind-numbing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But it's funny because I was going through my photos on the computer, and I saw us with, bandit signs, because we were putting out bandit signs all over the place because, with, Google numbers on there, because our phrase was, they can't find you if they can't find you. And
That's
so,
right.
but so that was 2012, and we were doing well.
Yep.
It wasn't anything gangbusters, but we weren't really trying to do anything gangbusters. We were just, we were trying to build it up. This is also when we first started creating with the sub 2 wraps. We were first starting to create passive income.
Yep.
And I think this is right around the time that passive income came into it. So it's perfect. You did 10 years because this wraps right into it.
Oh, nice.
Because that's like right when we first started doing it. We're like, oh, wow, we can make money on this every month. That's brilliant.
Exactly right.
So,
yes.
And most importantly, in 2012, we picked up Spartacus.
Yes. Our sweet little bulldog.
Our first bulldog.
Yeah.
Our first,
it was your birthday present.
Yeah, it was my birthday present in 2012. But yeah, so that's 2012 in a nutshell. Which, in a hindsight, compared to what we're doing today, it's kind of boring. It's like, man, what else did we do?
Yeah, and it's interesting. 10 years ago, we wouldn't have thought of doing what we're doing today, because back then we were really true owner finance, seller finance type mindset. We really did not. We wanted to be the bank. We did not want to flip houses. So we are dead set against tenants and toilets and buy and hold type stuff, unless the buy and hold was owner financing it. So the person in our house was actually owning it, taking care of the repairs, things like that. So it was a bit of a different mindset back then than we do have now, but all centered around passive income.
Yep.
It's been quite the journey. So I'm glad we're doing this episode. The next ones are going to be 5 years, 3 years, and then 1 year, right?
That's right.
All right.
Awesome. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're heading on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, to join the Investor Club and to see all the other stuff that we're doing on there. But we like to end all of our episodes with
Invest smart.
Live happy. Bye, everybody. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on the show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit and loss.